Yeah, morning, guys, girls. I'm just doing a quick one. I think it was 1993, and I think I've just been convicted and sentenced to 3 years, and I was in Highdown prison, and I had a cellmate then, Billy. He's from a traveller's site in Lewisham, in South London, there on the Lewisham one-way system. He used to live on a traveller's site there. But he was in Highdown, he was my cellmate. I'd just been sentenced and I'd been using heroin in prison, but this time I think I hadn't had any for a couple of days and I was really craving some heroin. I'd had the main withdrawal from when I'd come in off the street, my street habit, and then I'd done the main withdrawal the first couple of weeks, and this is a few months later, but I prolonged it all, by continuing to use in the prison while I was on remand and continued through being convicted. So I'd been in there a few months, and my cellmate Billy Fernston, he was a traveller. He'd come from Wayland, and he'd come down to Highdown in London, and really so it was easier for his visits, but there was also something else going on, but I'll get to that in a minute. But the first bit of the story was, so Bill had been using in Wayland and that, so, basically we're in there constantly thinking about how we can get a bit of brown, so we could smoke that and sleep the day away, whatever, make it all a bit easier in there. Because we've got to remember, this is before televisions in 93. I mean, some places did have televisions in 93. I think the Mount had just got them in, but this was before all the tellies became standard, So we're in this double cell, and in this one afternoon I got called out for a visit. So I didn't say anything to him that I was expecting a visit, I'd only been banged up with him, maybe 1 or 2 days. So I think we was banged up, the officer come and got me from a visit, and then they take you off the spur down to the visiting room. You go down there and have your visit. I see Chrissy, who was a girlfriend of Wayne, one of my friends from the out, and she brought me something up on the visit, which was nice, about, I think it was about 0.5 gram of heroin. A really nice gear, if I remember rightly. And you see, back then, 0.5 gram in there, if you're not doing it all the time, even that's a lot compared to the sizes of the little bags on the wing in there. Maybe half the size of what you get outside, or probably smaller than that even. A 10-pound bag of brown in there is tiny most of the time. Usually a lot better when you get to a CCAT prison, but in your local jail they're usually pretty small. So I had my own gear and that, and I've come back to the cell, after the visit, gone in the toilet, got the gear out of where, in the hidey hole, gone into a little toilet cubicle in the cell, took that out, come out, and then I've said to him, have you got any foil and that? So we're looking everywhere in the cell because we're, it's still bang up, and I can't find any foil, and we weren't into sniffing the gear and all that, snorting it, like some people do, or anything. We had no way of smoking it on the foil. We didn't want to put it in a roll up or anything like that, because when you haven't got loads of gear, that's a bit of a waste. When you haven't got a lot of gear, the best way to do it is to smoke it on the foil, obviously. So we're looking everywhere through books and opening books to see if there's bits of foil pressed between the pages, all the old little stash places, but we can't find any, and we're thinking, what are we going to do? And then he's got a pot noodle out of his cupboard, and I said, you can't use that, and he's going, he's going to put the brown on a pot noodle lid and try and smoke it off that. I said, you can't do that, that's not foil, it's got plastic in it. And he said, yeah, I'm going to do it. I said to him, look, mate, I'll give you a bit out of this. I'm going to give you your bit because you're my cellmate. I'm sorting you out. You have this and you do what you like with it, but I'm not wasting it on there. I'm going to wait another hour till we're unlocked, and we got association, and I'm going to go round the other cons to the other cells and see if anyone's got a chocolate bar, a Kit Kat, because then that was the main place you got your bit of foil off, was the chocolate bars, like the Kit Kats, yeah. And I said, you crack on. So he's trying to smoke it on that, obviously he's still getting it, but I can smell the plastic burning and all that, so he's got on with that. And then we got unlocked, and basically I'm running around all the people, other cells on association, asking other cons, have you got any Kit Kats? And I've gone to every cell on that spur. A spur is like a little wing, so there must be about 50 cells on there. I think, hold on a minute, no, probably about 30 cells I've gone round on that spur. And then I've got round to the last cell, and I've come around a long way, and this guy's only a couple of doors down from my cell. I think there's 5 on each landing, 5 cells about on each side, and then there's the ground, 1, 2, there's 3 floors, so about 30 cells or whatever. And then this guy, he said, yeah, I've got some Kit Kats, a Kit Kat you can have. I went, yeah, and he opened his cupboard, and when I looked in the back cupboard, the cupboards in the cell, they're like stuck to the wall, this wooden cupboard. He's opened it, and there was Kit Kats, like this high, stacked this high. And I said, oh mate, guess one of them, can you? I'll give you it back on payday, when we get our canteen. And he's given me 3 Kit Kats, just like that. And I was like, fucking hell, A few minutes earlier, I'm thinking, what am I going to do? We're going to get banged up soon. So I've got a Kit Kat, And by that time, association's finished. And I've gone back in the cell and had a raw, on a proper bit of foil. And then sorted him out of smoke as well, Billy. But the story about him was, because Bill, he'd had a bit of problems. And you do get this in prison. Well, people have beef either on the outside or inside as well. And what happens is, say Bill, he'd been to Wayland, there was another guy there that he had trouble with, Barry Godfrey, who'd been there, and then he'd left Wayland, and before he was in Wayland, he was in Downview, and these two, they were following each other around the prison system, to try and catch up with each other, to fight each other, basically, over this trouble they had on the out. And as you know, Barry Godfrey was at Downview at this time, and Bill had just been at Downview and come here. So, I'd been in Downview, I was going to Downview, and I would see Barry Godfrey, the other guy that was having his beef with Billy, but I can do that in another story. He was a prize fighter, Barry Godfrey. I mean, when I was in Downview, he was always on the bag or out running, but you could never get on the bag. There was only one punch bag in the gym at Downview. There was no boxing gloves or anything in any of the prisons that I went to. None of them had any boxing equipment. You were lucky if you saw a punch bag back then. I don't know about now, but in the gym at Downview, across the road from High Down there, the CCAT, I wanted to go on a punch bag now and again, but I couldn't get on there because Barry Godfrey was always on it, Jimmy Bird and Black Sam, and they'd all come from Parkhurst, and they was on the punch bag every day. It's literally a nightmare to get on that. So yeah, but anyway guys, that's just a quick story because I haven't really thought about this story, so please forgive me if it's not brilliant and all that stuff. And I just want to say hi to a few people. I want to say hello to Greg today. I hope you're well, mate. To Greg Price. And I just want to say thanks to everyone that's subscribing. I want to say hi to Wayne Alexander. Good bit of refereeing he done, the world champ. Wayne Alexander. I was at the boxing on Saturday and he was reffing a few fights there. Firm but fair, Wayne. It's good stuff. So I see him at the boxing fight at Epsom Downs. Yeah, just thanks to everyone that watches my videos, everyone that comments, and things are going really well. Yeah, I'm over 500. Want to get up to 600, and yeah, just a big thank you to everyone. And I'll speak to you all soon. A little story there. Thanks.